In this episode of Carnage, we're on a boat. Toot toot motherfucker.
Previously on Carnage. We bought this cheap MX5 at auction and got the guys at All Race Fabrications to tub and cage it and set it up for an LS1 V8. Powerhouse Engines built us a fresh donk that we installed at MPW Performance, and then we gave it a pair of custom Garrett turbos from GCG. Then we hit the road to Alice Springs for Redson and Nats to take advantage of the awesome cruising and finally give the MX5 its track debut.
So if you remember back to Carnage episode 7 with MX5.7 at Alice Springs, we got about 5 passes out of it before we melted the pulleys off it, and that's what stopped us from racing that day. We bought these alloy ones from Aeroflow. Now they're a direct replacement, and I'm going to go on this, and hopefully we shouldn't destroy them. Okay, so you may remember we had some boost control issues, and we had 2 of these 45mm Turbo Smart wastegates, and they should have been plenty to control the boost on the twin turbo LS1. But let's look at why we need a wastegate in the first place, alright? So here's our turbo. You've got a turbine side and a compressor side, alright? Turbine's the hot side, it takes exhaust gases in and then pushes them out there. And it spins up the turbine wheel, which is connected on a common shaft with our compressor, which takes air in and spits boost out. Problem is you have to control your turbine speed, otherwise your compressor side will spike boost uncontrollably, alright? So that's why we run a wastegate off there, pipe it back to the exhaust or to atmosphere, whichever way you want to do it, alright? So you need a decent wastegate to control your boost. So on our setup, our collectors come together into this 2-inch space, and it's not really enough room to work with. We've only got one position where we can put the wastegate, and that's off this 2-inch space, and that means gas is really lazy, right? So gas goes firing up this way, and very little of it wants to make this 90-degree turn to come out through our wastegate. So there's our 45mm gate. Well, this is what we're using. We're going to use a 60mm wastegate. It is stupidly large for what we're doing, but it will work. All right, normally you would use these on a twin turbo big block, but because of our wastegate position, we need the extra orifice size to vent our gases so we can control the boost. So enlarge that so that way the gas can make an easier exit, and we can run 10 to 18 psi with ease.
Is so low. It's coming out easy enough. I don't know why it's having trouble getting back in. There we go. This wasn't holding the tongue right.
Too hot for this shit, and it looks like I've put the gasket on the wrong way, so the middle bolt hole doesn't line up, which is pretty much a sure sign that I've done it wrong.
With Christmas upon us, we had Damien at Bling Designs give the MX5 a fresh new look with this awesome wrap. And I painted the cage and gave the interior a hit with some spray-on tray liner.
Looking good.
Shit's about to get real. How do you feel about taking this for a lap around Summer-Nats?
Well, I'll go for some of that.
You know, the Miata side of it, in the States this would be a girl car, so it's a little embarrassing, but you got enough meat in the back and enough push in the front for us to be acceptable. I got earplugs here, so I think we're going to be able to take it.
This thing is a pussycat.
Who's going to drive? Let's flip.
Yep.
Let's flip.
We're going. Tails, I win. I already said it in my head.
There you go.
Yep.
I think I got gypped out of that deal. All right, you drive.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah! Yeah, what's up?
Chase, come on.
Dude, here we go. Tough street.
Oh, really?
Yeah!
I heard we shouldn't
Look
go
at
on.
all the people.
I was told we shouldn't go on Tough Street, actually.
This is why Asian always says, summer nuts, summer nuts.
Well, you know, I really like it. I mean, in terms of the dunk beetle, the Volkswagen Bug's kind of a girl car too, right? Yeah. So I can't really rag on. I'm not ragging, but it's just it's a Mazda Miata, so it's cruising summertime car. But what it's got under the hood and what it's got in the back makes up for it.
Yeah. This is a girl's car with a lot of man under the hood. Yeah, but Asian.
Yep.
You broke the car.
He broke my car.
It's just sad. It's just sad right now. It doesn't. Those are tears.
It's
those
bleeding.
Those are fear tears.
Tears of horsepower. So we just did the Super Cruise, and unfortunately the thermo fans have stopped. I don't know why. Could be fuse, could be some wiring issues. We'll sort that out and get this thing running properly again. It was running fine until Farm Truck and Asian drove it. So yeah.
So obviously we let Farm Truck and Asian drive this thing, and they had a good time, but it overheated quite badly. Went to 106 degrees, so we're going to get a new thermo fan in there, get this thing ready for Powercruise Tassie and go mental. A few people were unhappy that I was using green coolant at Summer-Nats, so made sure I got some of the red stuff for you.
So we've fixed the thermo fans, we're down at Spirit of Tasmania, and we're finally ready to get on the boat. We've made it through security, got our official security tag, so we've been checked. Asked us if we've got any weapons. We've said, well, only the MX5.7, so. It is Australia Day tomorrow, so we're on our way to Powercruise Tasmania. We're going to jump on the Spirit of Tasmania, which is a big ferry, go across Bass Strait with MX5.7 and run amok at Powercruise Tassie at Symmons Plains. It's going to be amazing.
go Team Street Machine.
Like it basically just died on us while driving, and the battery was dead flat. So we got it going on the jump pack, and even with the jump pack on it, with the engine running, it's showing 10.8 volts at the battery. So it's not charging to my mind. So and the voltage is just going down. So battery voltage is way down. I'm thinking we got a dead alternator. It's not charging. So there's been no other changes to it. Nothing's disconnected. It's just all of a sudden it's not charging. So, you know, if we're revving it and it's still not charging, giving us enough voltage, I think it's a dead alternator. Worried, man. I thought, look, it's done smoke, and the wall just kept coming close all the time, and the cab just fills with smoke, and you can't see anything. I was just like, man, how do these guys do it? I don't know how these burnout guys do it. That is insane. All right, well, it's still live. We just got to throw another alternator in it because the alternator's dead. So we've got a charge pack on at the moment. We charged the battery as much as we could. I think we got enough power to get back to the pits. But first job in the morning is put an alternator in this thing so we can take it out and, you know, have a thrash. So we had a bit of an alternator issue yesterday afternoon. We got here, we went for a quick drive around the pits, and there was no power. It just died. So this is our alternator. It's less than 6 months old, but it's filthy. It's had a hard life. Well, I reckon it's packed it in. So one of the guys in the pits has actually lent us the alternator off his car. Blue Skyline over there. He just blew it up this morning in the first cruise session. So he says, might as well lend this one because, yeah, no use of us both sitting there doing nothing. So we're gonna whack this in, go out and do some skids. Righty, so you got your passenger armband?
I did, because this is nerve-wracking.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm a bad passenger. I'm a bad passenger. Thanks, Dad.
Really?
Oh, I think so. I shouldn't need it, should I?
No, I'm not, because I'm only going to go
extremely fast.
A bit soft. So we just went out for our first cruise session. We replaced the alternator this morning. So we went out, started off slow because I've never been on this track before. I got no idea what it was like, and it is awesome. It is a great track. We got on it down the back straight there, and holy shit, this thing is scary. It scared the piss out of me. I mean, the bonnet starts to flutter and just, it is crazy. The rear end stepping out and just hazing the tires is just amazing. And then we did a couple of laps like that, and then we come down here and stood on the brakes, and it was like, oh, we got all the bias to the front, and the front brakes were gone. So we've wound in a bit more bias to the rear, so we got more even braking across the front and rear now. And yeah, we're going to get ready for some off-street drags. If we're down the deep end of the street drags, I guess that's kind of its thing, so it should be. Weighs nothing, it's got about 700 horsepower at the moment, so.
And I hear you going all in straight up.
All in. Oh, here we go. He wants me to go for SP2 on the...
In the words of Street Machine, just send it, mate.
Just send it.
Maybe if we just rev it, it might fix itself. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just rev it.
So the problem is we've got a push rod embedded in a lifter. Why? Don't really know. Collapsed lifter, just happens sometimes. And GM in their wisdom mounted the lifters down under the cylinder head. So to replace the lifter, we actually have to yank the cylinder head. Not such a big deal with this one because it's got Cometic head gaskets and head studs, but it's just a kind of a painful process. So screw it, we're here. If we get this thing fixed tonight, we've got a full day to enjoy it tomorrow. Why not? You know, what else are we going to do? Sit here, do nothing? We're here, we paid the money. We might as well have a crack. There's our problem. It's not supposed to be that shape. The virtualized kids. Alright, hopefully, moment of victory. Well, if you're asking if I'm going to go do skids, no. But I will have one of these because I think I deserved it. Cheers, mate.
Good job.
So after our big repair job last night with that bent push rod, we got it back together, we fueled it and we oiled it and we bloody put new tyres on it ready for this morning, went out, did the first cruise session. I went out and did a couple of laps with Bubba and then Bubba's like, I want to drive, and I'm like, all right, you have a drive. Dude, you can fucking drive. Gaffer tape. What's a nice safe word? I thought it was good. I come over the hump and it was straight, it was fine, it come with the size a little bit. I'm like, yeah, this is good, this is good. And then all of a sudden it's gone, way! I'm like, and I tried to feed it just so it would spin it, but there just wasn't enough room and she slid backwards into the wall.
As long as everyone knows it wasn't me and it was him. So Scotty, what happened? Did you hit the wall? Yeah. Oh, right. Are you alright? Yeah. Okay. Are you probably going to do it again? Yeah. Alright. Maybe take it a little bit easier this time. Yeah. Yeah. Have fun, but just play it safe. Yeah. And don't hit a wall. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Did I pop a tyre?
Oh yeah, you popped it up.
Oh, and we're getting towed again. So how's that for a weekend? I don't think we could get any more carnage if we tried. Well, unless the boat sinks on the way home. I tell you, we've had it all. From the alternator dying from the moment we got off the trailer. We still did skids on Australia Day, so props for that. And then, you know, the next day, replacing the alternator, then getting out there and doing some cruising and street drags where we bent the push rods, replaced them, so I had to pull the motor half apart, fix that, get it ready for today where we did epic cruising. It was just awesome. I had a bit of a crack and then I handed the wheel off to Bubba because his crew at All Race did a massive job on this car. I mean, they did all the heavy lifting when it comes to the engineering of this car. So, you know, why not let Bubba get behind the wheel and the guy can drive. I mean, you watch that footage, he can steer. So that was just as awesome to watch as it was to be in the car and driving myself. And then of course, power skids, I backed it into the wall. That's 2 for 2 for Carnage cars. And then, you know, street drags. The damage from the power skids then caused our street drags to fail epically. When I launched it off the trans brake, she spun a little bit and then that tyre blew and that's all she wrote. So that's our weekend, done and dusted. But I'm still smiling because it is awesome. Powercruise is awesome. Powercruise Tassie is awesome. So much track time. Symmons Plains as a circuit is a fantastic track. I mean, you guys need to get down here. So I reckon we'll be back at some point because it's just too good. So I reckon that'll do us for this episode of Carnage. Catch us next time.